Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, so you're like two things mixed together, aren't you?
I believe so.
So, I assume I know which bit the Enderman bit is. What is the other bit? Are you half gassed?
I honestly have no idea.
Dream SMP is a really interesting server. I love the idea of using Minecraft to write compelling stories, and I used to write my own when I was younger. So of course I've found myself watching a lot of the lore-based streams of Dream SMP. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it, but you don't necessarily need to watch every single stream and know every single piece of lore to understand this video. In fact, I want to stress that I don't even watch all of the streams, just the lore-heavy ones. I've tried my best to fill myself in using the wiki and social media platforms like Twitter, but there's a big chance that I've probably missed something. That being said, what you do need to know before we start is that in Dream SMP, the streamers play characters. They share the same name, the same brand, and very similar personalities, but these characters go through fictional scenarios and have fictional backstories, feelings, and intentions. So for the rest of this video, unless I otherwise specify, I'll be talking about the character that the streamer Ranboo portrays. Finally, I also want to say that this is just a theory of mine. Although I can go as in-depth as possible, the nature of the improv roleplay and the subjectivity of storytelling makes it near impossible to have a concrete answer, so my conclusion is my own opinion. I would love to see your thoughts in the comments. If you end up liking the video and would like to support me, I'd love for you to go follow my Twitch channel. I'm currently starting a hardcore world, and I have a lot of future plans that you'd probably not want to miss out on. And of course, if you want more videos like this, please be sure to subscribe. So anyway, let's begin. The question we're answering is, what is Ranboo's other half? Ranboo is confirmed as part Enderman, part something else. Due to being part Enderman, he has many of the same traits as one. He's sensitive to water, is uncomfortable around eye contact, makes the same noises as Enderman, or at least speaks their language, and at least sort of resembles the mob. The eye structure is the same, and if you didn't know, Enderman eyes were green in the beta 1.8 pre-release version of the game. He also seems to be able to pick up blocks like an Enderman. He can pick up grass blocks and other types of blocks that usually need a tool with Silk Touch to pick up. Note that this only happens with blocks that are affected by Silk Touch. Things like cobwebs and ferns cannot be picked up because one needs to use shears for that. We know from this tweet that he's been showing habits that are from his other half, although it's hard to tell which of his traits are because of his personality or because of his species. For example, he's scared of creepers. There are multiple Minecraft mobs that won't attack creepers, so it could be evidence towards his species, but there could also be many other reasons, from just not liking how creepers destroy their surroundings, to maybe something like they killed his parents or something. To try to keep the traits as obvious as possible, we can split them into three categories: species traits, personality or non-species traits, and traits that overlap the two. Of course, I definitely did not get all of them, but these are at least the ones that we're easily aware of. The overlapping traits are basically ones that can be explained because of a species or because of his personality. They're good to keep in mind, but aren't going to be used as hard evidence. I also want to point out that visually, his unknown side is white with a red eye. There are 4 mobs in Minecraft that match this description: ghasts, killer rabbits, angry wolves, and iron golems. We know that he's very likely not a ghast due to this tweet, where after someone brings up that his skin was intentionally supposed to be half ghast, he says, quote, "Let's just say that things can change." He also probably isn't a rabbit, courtesy of Tubbo's questioning him about it.
So, what is
It's just
the
better
other half
here.
of you?
I have no
Brandon,
idea.
What is the other half? Like, red eye? That's gotta be ghast, right?
You're asking me like I know. You're asking me like I remember these things, Tubbo.
Could you be? Oh my god, wait! Jack, I've had an epiphany.
No,
What?
that sounds painful.
The white rabbits! They have red eyes, don't they? He's part rabbit! It's literally a perfect match.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm fairly certain it's not rabbit.
Now that we have some of the hard facts out of the way, I want to do an analysis of his character that could give me some more evidence. First, I want to start with his Minecraft skin. Exactly how much of his skin is black like an Enderman? This is a bit difficult since we can't really take his clothes off. I really wouldn't want to anyway, that's kind of weird. But if we look at the skins on NameMC, we can easily see that both of his hands are black. And taking a look at his beach episode skin, his arms are also black. Of course, we can fact check this by looking at the texture of the skin. Taking a lightning tool to the face, we can see the texture pattern very easily. And the same pattern is displayed on his hands and arms, so he's definitely not wearing gloves or anything. We can also see that same pattern on his head below, so we can assume that the white part of his skin is just on the side of his face and doesn't go all the way down. I also want to get biology out of the way before we talk about the theories. Now, of course, I'm a 17-year-old guy with a uniquely higher-pitched voice, failing all of his classes and making videos in his free time. I am in no way a biologist. I have done a lot of research, but if I get any of the science wrong, I would love for someone to call me out on it. I really don't want to spread misinformation. So, to my understanding, it would make sense for the unknown species to be perfectly fine with water and eye contact. Ranboo's Enderman traits aren't as strong, or fit, as purebred Enderman. Some of the Enderman traits are partly masked by the non-Enderman traits, creating intermediate traits. For example, water doesn't physically deal damage to him, but he still feels the pain, because the non-Enderman trait of not being damaged by water does not completely mask the Enderman trait of being damaged by water. This is called incomplete dominance. Looking at how genes carry over could also explain his green eye. The green eyes of an Enderman could very likely be a hidden trait, and because his other parent didn't hold the dominant purple eyes gene that would mask it, it stays green. His skin could also be explained with genes. When both traits show at the same time, like how his skin shows the black skin of an Enderman and the white skin of the unknown species, it's called codominance. Of course, this is all keeping roleplay in mind. Of course, Endermen don't have genes or the ability to breed in the game. Of course, Ranboo doesn't take water damage because he's a player. And of course, there's a very big chance that he didn't even take any of this into consideration when writing his character. But that's just the fun of roleplay and making theories. That being said, let's get right into the actual theories. I have two specifically to talk about today. Dream clearly has a hand in Ranboo's character, whether it be his backstory or related some other way. One of the most popular theories is that he's part Dreamin'. However, this relies on the headcanon that Dream is a Dreamin', when in reality we have no clue what he is. Also, Ranboo said himself that he doesn't know what a Dreamin' is.
There we go. You know what a Dreamin' is? Nope. Anyway, I actually don't know much about that.
Nearly everyone else is human, with the exception of hybrids of Minecraft mobs like Fundy and Technoblade. The only other creature I could find was Bad Boy Halo being a demon, but he hasn't confirmed it.
I think my favorite kind of headcanon style lore that I've seen is, and again, keep in mind, this isn't official lore. This is just kind of my own thoughts. I saw someone come up with this theory, and I kind of took it and ran with it a little bit. Is the canon that, a lot of people have established my character on the Dream SMP as like a demon type thing, or like some sort of like a monstery character, and I can neither confirm or deny anything.
Using the biology analysis, we could point out traits that are specifically for a species that only exists within the roleplay of this server and match them well with literally anyone, but more specifically Dream. He, like the unknown species, isn't affected by water or eye contact, and does have white skin, although we aren't sure whether he's canonically a white blob like his branding is. However, by this logic, Ranboo could very well also be part human, but humans tend to not have red eyes and grayish-white skin. Making Ranboo an unknown species that was specifically designed for this roleplay would mean it's nearly impossible for people to guess what it is until it's revealed. Honestly, from a storytelling perspective, this is the best bet, because I doubt he would want someone like me to ruin a big reveal because I was bored one night. Hell, maybe my biological analysis could fit with this mystery species. Who knows? This theory is actually one of my favorite theories because it involves my personal speculation into his backstory. This theory is inspired by a Twitter thread that I'll link in the description. First, let's talk about Iron Golem traits. Much like Ranboo's unknown species traits, they don't burn in sunlight, they're a grayish-white color with red eyes, and they aren't bothered by water or eye contact. They are also neutral mobs, attacking players only when provoked. They're also one of the mobs that don't kill creepers. Iron Golems also don't spawn based on chunks or light levels like a lot of mobs. They're instead created by villagers, and can be created in any location with enough villagers, not just in naturally spawned villages. They're created to protect the villagers, not the village they're spawned in, which definitely reflects Ranboo's concept of choosing people rather than countries. Endermen can also build iron golems by placing the pumpkin on iron blocks. Although in regular gameplay this is done by accident, there's a chance in the roleplay Endermen have technology to make golems, or fuse themselves with golems. Remember all the biology I just talked about? Yeah, throw all of it out of the window for this theory. I mean, unless you want to think about an iron golem having the capabilities to sexually reproduce, considering they're built by villagers or players, I don't think they would be able to do that. However, remember the detail that only half of his head is white? What if at one point he was a pure Enderman, but something happened? What if somehow his head was damaged, causing permanent brain damage, which resulted in bad memory loss? And the only way to save his life was to reconstruct parts of his face with the same technology that people use to build golems. The golem's instincts would mess with his morals, creating the inner conflict with choosing moral sides. Or what if he died? I think it makes a lot more sense than you'd originally think. The easiest connection to make is the memory issues between him and the only other character who displays similar issues, Ghostbur. Ghostbur is obviously also a ghost. Although 2 isn't a pattern, the similarities between the two characters definitely can't be ignored. This theory will be a lot more solid if they end up resurrecting Wilbur and he continues to have memory issues. More evidence is how he reacts to the concept of resurrection. Specifically when he talks about the necromancy tower in Snowchester with Tubbo, and his reaction to the first attempt at resurrecting Wilbur.
And hopefully in the future we can maybe use it to resurrect the dead, you know, witch doctor style.
Oh. Are we sure that that's the best idea?
I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
Like, no. I think no, actually.
You think no?
I think no. I don't think that that's a good idea, probably. All right, there we go.
Why do you think no?
Okay, well, things are dead for a reason, right?
Yeah,
so
but what, you're saying people deserve to die?
No. I'm simply saying that there can be consequences when it comes to those things, especially when you're dealing with something that you guys don't know much about.
It seems like he already knows there are side effects and problems that can occur, even if he himself doesn't know how he knows. But that's not all. Think about it. Dream very obviously has a hand in Ranboo's actions. If Dream is really commanding him around while he's in a sleep-like or dissociative state, it would make sense for Dream to have brought him to the SMP for that reason to begin with. Or, more specifically, brought him back to life. Dream is the only one who can bring back people, after all. Maybe he's aware of the side effects that mess with the person's memory, and knows how to manipulate them into helping him without them even knowing. Maybe he was an Enderman, and him fusing with another species was a side effect, or a way to keep him alive because of how damaged his body was at the time of his death. Maybe Dream used Iron Golem technology to fix his body and bring him back to life. As much as I wish I had an answer for you all to impress you with my really cool video analysis, there really isn't one to give. To my knowledge, there isn't enough evidence to come to a solid conclusion. So I leave it open to you guys. What theories do you have? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And of course, Ranboo, if you end up seeing this, please, for the love of God, don't just embarrass me in front of your entire fanbase by saying my entire video is wrong. I will start crying. Anyway, this was a super fun video to make, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.